Dre Spector Boxing here with another video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the bell notification, that way you stay up to date on the latest content as I add it to the channel. Now, Unified Welterweight Champion Errol, the true Spence Jr., looks to take on Canelo Alvarez. That's Saul Canelo Alvarez. And he's looking to do it at AT&T Stadium sometime in 2021. He said when it comes back to full capacity. Let me read a little bit about what the Sun put out for as far as they did an interview with Errol Spence. And it says Errol Spence, who admits that he's now having a hard time getting down to 147 for his fights. He feels that fighting Canelo at 160 would be easier on him because he wouldn't have to trim off so much weight as he normally does. Now, Errol Spence is fighting Danny Garcia, of course, next on December 5th in front of a limited crowd at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington. That fight will be Spence's first since his car crash last year in October. Many boxing fans are interested in seeing how Spence looks in the fight, as there's concerns that he's not the same fighter. That's not my concern. If the accident took something out of Spence, he could lose to the hard-hitting former two-division world champion Danny Garcia. I'll tell you how I see that fight in later videos. All right, this is a quote directly from Errol Spence. It says, "With Canelo, yeah, I definitely entertain that. That can happen. That's a huge fight," Spence said to the Sun. Said that would be huge for the Cowboys Stadium when we're back to 100% capacity. That's another mega fight which I could have. I could have a lot of mega fights, as Errol Spence is becoming one of the biggest pay-per-view draws in boxing. That is the truth. He has a lot of mega fights that he can make, i.e. the Terrence Crawford fight everybody wants to see, the Manny Pacquiao fight, that's a mega fight, and also this Canelo Alvarez fight, that's also a possible mega fight. He also he goes on to say it takes quite a few pounds to get down to 147. I wouldn't have any problems fighting at 160. That was said by Spence about his struggles to make welterweight. But at the end of the day, it's down to the guys in the suits. So he's saying it's basically down to the networks, Hammer and I, because they fight on different networks. And I guess maybe his management and, negotiations and things of that nature to get these fights done. We want to see big fights. We want to see the best fighting the best, and this would be one of the best fighting the best. Errol Spence Jr. versus Canelo Alvarez. That is clearly, that's the two of the biggest draws. Errol Spence, who's fought his last two fights on pay-per-view, and then this fight upcoming with Danny Garcia is also a pay-per-view fight, is becoming one of the biggest draws in boxing. A high demand fight. Big fights, fighting tough competition. This guy is, and just big names. And this guy is becoming that of a pay-per-view star. And Canelo Alvarez, which fights on his own, I think he kind of misses that pay-per-view spotlight. And this would be a huge pay-per-view event. I don't see it going to the Zone unless the Zone changes their format, which is rumored. If they have some type of contract negotiations with Canelo Alvarez. But let me tell you how I see this as a matchup. At 160 pounds, I think Canelo is a little bit more vulnerable. He might be the bigger guy, but he's still vulnerable. You still got to make that weight, so you still got to come in on the fight day at 160 pounds. Errol Spence, I think he moves up and he does well at 160. I don't think that I'm not necessarily saying he's going to be the best at 160. I think his best weight may be 147, 154 maybe, but I think 147 suits Errol Spence. He's the biggest guy at 147, one of the more skillful guys at 147. Fight matching up with Canelo, I think Canelo has some holes in his game and could be exploited. We've seen Canelo outboxed. I've seen Canelo outbox on several occasions and I've seen him beat by a smaller man in Floyd Mayweather, which that is one of the all-time most skillful fighters that you could be in a ring with. But somebody beat him that was smaller than him, and he beat him at a catch weight. I think 152 pounds, I want to say. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I believe it was 152 pound catch weight for that super welterweight title. But I've also seen Amir Khan get up in there, and Amir Khan was schooling Canelo, in my opinion. He was outboxing him, and he had his way in there. That's a smaller guy before Canelo knocked him out, damn near killed him. But there was success. Alexander Lara is another guy that comes to mind when I think about the success that he had in the Canelo fight. So Canelo is vulnerable, man. It's not like he's a world beater and he doesn't have his own holes. Has he gotten better over the years? Yes, he's absolutely gotten better. But I think this is still a challenge. So in my opinion, it is noteworthy that this fight could take place. Also, in recent years, I think it was about a year ago, Oscar De La Hoya entertained this fight. He said it would be a big fight. So this is a well-known fact that these guys will entertain a Errol Spence fight. Like it's not like out of the realm of possibility. This is more than likely. This is a future fight that will happen as long as Errol Spence continues. Now, do I want this next? No. I would like to see the unification between Errol Spence Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, or Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. I want unification fights at 147. You want to see it undisputed at 147. I think that was what most boxing fans, like true boxing fans, not the casuals, that's what we want to see. But is this an attractive fight? Absolutely. This is something I would love to see. Errol Spence dare to be great, go up to 160, i.e. Sugar Ray Leonard. He'll take on the 160-pound champion in Canelo Alvarez. He's a multi-divisional champion. And for him to beat Canelo Alvarez at 160, man, that's a legacy fight. That goes down in history, you know. Do I think he'd be the favorite in that fight? I don't think so, because Canelo is the bigger man. But do I think that he can have some success? Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's just interesting. Let me know what you guys think. Should this fight go down in 2021? Should this fight go down before a Errol Spence Pacquiao or Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight? Just let me know in the comment section, man, what you think, man. That's Dre Spectrum. That's all I got for you, and I'm out.